right, so it's Vintage Seed Catalog Rice Papers. Take 31. Action.
This is a collection of 5 really fun rice papers. Elizabeth found the imagery that is these vintage seed catalogs, and she's going to show you how she creates. You want to show them that? She's going to show you how she took a very simple rice paper and really spiffed it up with some strategically placed strokes of heavy body acrylic paint, which is really what the Amsterdam acrylics are.
Yeah, so it's got nice texture, and it looks like either an embellished print or a real painting. So I had fun with that. That was the perfect size, and
yeah, it worked out really well. And the other fun bit is if that's not your jam, or if you think, well, okay, but I want to do something in my journal, I'm going to show you a couple of little things that I did too. Taking the paper and just adding a little bit of silliness here and there, and it makes it fun.
Yeah, absolutely. It's tons of fun.
Yeah. You want to go do it?
Yeah, let's go show them how to do it.
All right. This release of Vintage Seed Catalog rice papers includes 5 designs, and I'm stumbling over 5 and 6 because when you look at these, they're numbered. There was a number 3 that we kind of pulled out of the series, so it's going to go 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, and we'll just all live with that. So number 1 is these onions, and then number 2 is, I don't know what was this, a cover, Elizabeth? Is that what this was? A cover to a seed catalog that you found?
Yeah, annual seed catalog cover.
Okay.
And Boston, Massachusetts, baby.
Oh, that's why you grabbed that. Okay. And then this is number 4. So we have 2 that are in kind of sepia and white, and then with 3 that are color. This is number 5, and this is number 6. This is by far my favorite because it's pretty flowers. Now, the thing to know is that when you look at the first 2, which are the onions and the cover of that catalog, you'll notice that the backgrounds are, these are basically 2 color. It's, the beige and the white. But Elizabeth is clever, and she said to me, well, we don't have to use them that way. So she took the onions and used the gel plate, and she chose 2 translucent, transparent colors of Amsterdam acrylic paint. She brayered it on the plate and printed it. So you can change this up. It can really become anything that you want it to be. So kind of keep that in mind. You're going to see Elizabeth demo how to create this really cool little, and I'm going to just, well, let's grab this one. You're going to see her demo how to do, whoops, this way. You're going to see her demo how to do this. But the thing to keep in mind is that there are many ways to use these. So this is the one, and I liked the colors, so I went with these. All I did was take a couple of Art by Marlene die cuts and I put them in there. I used a little bit of Stabilo all pencil around them just to make the background edges a little bit darker around them so they kind of stand up off that background. This is 1 piece on 1 page, so it's really easy to work with. And I put in some sentiments and some silly stuff. Same thing here. This is my 5 by 7. This is made with our imperfect journal page signatures. Again, the full size piece from the sheet of rice paper. These are Tim's paper dolls. These happen to be the smaller ones. Some of his, I want to say this is the tiny text rub-ons or remnant rubs. And then this is from one of his other sticker thingies that have these words on them. It's not small talk and it's not big chat, it's something else. I don't remember exactly what it is, but it's very easy to customize this paper and use it in the kind of mixed media way that we're familiar with, in addition to what you're going to see Elizabeth demo next.
All right, so Barb just showed you all the papers, and I want to show you what I did with them just for fun. I took the full seed packet artwork, one of the 2 up on the page, and I put them on a 6 by 8 wood cradled panel. So I just put it on with gel medium. The key is with gel medium underneath the paper and then on top of the paper, because the rice papers are very highly absorbent. And I feel like, I know that with the Posca markers, when we do that on top, if you don't seal this paper, the stuff bleeds into it because it's so absorbent. So I put a coat of gel medium over the top of the whole thing so I wouldn't have to worry about the paint kind of wicking and bleeding in the rice paper. I think that's important. So the gel medium on the top seals it up. So now we're adding paint on top of a coat of gel medium. So I took the the basic paper on the wood panel, and then I turned it into something that looks like an original painting. So I applied the heavy body tube paint on very thickly with the paintbrush so you can see a dimension and paint on there, so it looks like an original. So basically it's embellished, right? So, and then I painted the edges a brownish color to finish them off so I can hang it on the wall. So I was just going to talk you through how I did this, because I think a series of these would be great in the kitchen, like 2 or 3 of them. The vintage seed packets could be really nice in your kitchen, or as a hostess gift or a teacher gift, because with this embellishing, they look like an original piece of artwork. Okay, so I'm using the Versaclear waterproof pigment ink pad. It's waterproof and light resistant. And this is the sand dune. And I'm using this to vignette the edge. So I'm just giving it a rub on here, a little bit more in the corners. And it's kind of this sepia tone. And it really lends itself to the vintage look. And I like that it's waterproof. So if I get any paint down here on it, it's not gonna smudge. And all you have to do is give it a light rub around the edges, and I give it a little bit more in the corners. And this color is perfect for these vintage papers. And then I make sure I kind of rub it on the corner of the board to cover up the edge of the paper. And you could do more or less of this, you know, kind of depending on how much you want to bring it in there. You could give it a heavier vignette edge or a lighter one. But I think the ink pad is a real easy way to do that. So there we go. And this color I think would work on all of them across the board because it's that kind of sepia tone. So now I just took a brush and some heavy body Amsterdam paints, and I'm laying them on thick so that when you look at them from the side, the texture of the brush marks makes it look like it's an actual painting. So I didn't really do a lot of paint mixing here. I know sometimes that can be daunting for people, but I started out with this bright red, which is brighter than the light part of this tomato, but I wanted to like make it really have some pop, right? So I just embellished that a little bit on the light part of the tomato. And when I'm painting like this, believe it or not, I don't use water bucket. I just wipe my paint out in a paper towel and keep going. So, and I can switch from red to yellow that way and not have any problem. So here we're going to put a magenta down, and I'm going to pull that into the dark areas. And you're not painting the whole thing because the colors are already under there. We're just embellishing and trying to apply it thick so that it catches the light in the room. So I'll put a little bit there and, you know, scoop it up and let it be thick. I'm going to scoop up some more of this and really let it be thick on there like that. And then while I'm in red, I grab some orange and put it on those carrots. And I'm not going to make you watch me paint this whole thing, although I will probably paint this whole thing, even though I already did it once, because the process of it is kind of fun. So again, I can't stress enough, lay that paint on there thick so that it looks like a painting when you're done with it because of that texture. So we just lay that on there. Not painting in the whole thing, just accents. And then I used some of this bright green, brilliant green. We need a kid to read these labels. Jeez Louise. And I did the side edge of this and just dragged a few kind of accent high points of that green. And you can see how it just really lends itself to. And if you go out looking like a painting, and if you go outside of the lines, don't even worry about it, you know? I mean, I don't. Look at that.
If it doesn't bother you, it shouldn't bother me.
You're right. I don't worry about it. It looks great. And gives it that texture. Let's see. And then I took this white, this kind of an off-white, I guess, I think is a Titan buff, and grabbed it on the corner and just put a few on the light side of the corn kernels. They're very little, but I'm just dabbing a few of them on the light side. And pay attention to what's light and what's dark, because I used this Naples yellow. So the corn on the highlight side, I used the tight and buff, but there is shading. And so on this kind of left-hand side, it's a little darker, and that's where I use the Naples yellow. And I use that same Naples yellow up in the celery. And up here, I'm just dabbing. I'm not worried about even hitting the leaves exactly. I'm just adding these little dabs of paint that are gonna catch the light because they're thick. And then that same color, that Naples yellow, I put in the melon. And I am paying attention that there's a shadow here and a shadow here and a shadow there from the green beans and the melon. So I'm not gonna put the Naples yellow in there. I'm gonna put it in the light area here, here, and there. So if you pay attention to where the shadows and the light are, you'll get a more realistic look when you apply the paint. So there we go, like that. Dabbed up in there like that. And I could put out a little, let's see, we'll clean this out and go to the dark green. And then we've almost painted the whole thing, even though I said I wasn't gonna make you watch me paint the whole thing. It's quick. So now I've got this nice dark, rich dark green in here. And again, apply it thick, lay it on there like Van Gogh. And while I have the dark green on, there's a little bit of dark green up here in the corn. But I am paying attention to the shadows. Again, I'm only putting the dark green where it's dark. And then I'm gonna come back to that light green and mix that in with the dark a little bit to get, here's my light on there. So in the lighter green areas, I'm putting a little bit of lighter green paint like that. Okay. So it's just, you know, you have a roadmap here. So you're just going to follow what's there. Is it dark green or is it light green? And you just have to pay attention to that. And put a little here. And a little light green on the cucumber. Put a little yellow in there, lighten that up a little bit. And we're just mixing the colors right here on the non-stick craft sheet. If you don't have this on your desk, you know, you can use a paper plate or a piece of palette paper or whatever it is you mix paint on. I do love this because I can work right on the desk and then wipe it off. Okay, I think that's it. Look at that.
Looks great.
The only last thing, and I might as well do it, is the seeds in the cantaloupe, Barb. That's it.
Yeah, those would be helpful.
And that's the last thing that I painted on the other one. And this color is Naples yellow red. And I just dabbed a little bit of that in here in the seeds to give them some dimension. And that's it. So there you have it. And the last thing I would do is paint the edges. And I painted the edges with a brownish color that kind of matched the sepia and the shadows of the front. So like a nice dark brown. But there you go. Now we have two beautifully hand embellished seed packet vegetable seeds.
Yay.
Little gifts.
Yeah.
That's it. It was easy. Super simple. Okay, so that's all we have about the vintage seed packets rice paper, seed catalogs rice paper.
Either way, they're really cool.
I have to say though that the illustrations on them, I got them on public domain images, and I went for the illustrations that were like so beautiful and like, oh, I mean, I just don't see art like that anymore. That's what I thought was so cool about it, was all those vintage illustrations. They remind me of the botanical illustrations and all of that. And yeah, it's just like
it's a lost art form, don't you think?
Yes, it's a lost art form because it's hand-done illustration. And now we use a lot of photography.
Yep.
So
or AI.
Or AI. But this cluster of like, if this was a seed packet now, they would use a photo.
Yes,
you know,
it would be not.
So I love the nostalgia of this, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's pretty cool. So anyway, thanks for being here. We'll see you next week.
Bye.